Labour unions and employers in the steel sector are back at the Metal and Engineering Industries Bargaining Council for a round of the 2024 wage talks. Workers belonging to Numsa and the NUM want a cost of living wage increase of 7%, coupled with non-financial benefits for the workers. The Steel and Engineering Industrial Federation of Southern Africa, Seifsa, which represents employers in the sector, wants the parties to consider rolling over the current wage agreement of 6%. SABC News Economics reporter Katlego Legodi is at the Bargaining Council and joins us live. A very good afternoon, Katlego. Tell us what's happening where you are.
A very good afternoon to you, Nompu, and to our viewers at home. It's been a marathon of engagements, I must say, here in Boksburg, where we're seeing the second round of wage negotiations in the steel and metal engineering sector. This is where we are looking at these sectors, basically the labor unions coming together with the workers here, trying to bargain, Nompu, for just their sectors, their constituencies here. The workers will be looking through, or represented by Seifsa, are looking to ensure that there is at least a moderate approach and an understanding to the economy in terms of the expectations from workers and coming from the employers. But when you look at the workers themselves, they're saying that really the cost of living is too high. The economy has not moved for them for quite some time, and they're looking at ensuring that at least they push for an inflation-linked wage offer that will also be coupled with non-financial benefits like housing and medical aid that will have to kick in for those that are within this sector. This, Nompu, is a 900 billion rand sector that in 2021 saw an impasse here whereby workers downed tools because these two parties could not find each other. So we're seeing this particular process, the bargaining process here, threshed out in 3 sessions. The first one was about 2 weeks ago. Today, marking the second round of these talks. The last round will be on the 8th of May. And all of these parties are coming through, having a mandate from their constituencies in terms of what then this particular industry can afford, what it can't afford, looking and taking into consideration an economy that has not moved for quite some time for everybody in the sector, employers and workers alike. I'm going to bring into the conversation now Mr. Irvin Jim, Mr. General Secretary, coming through from Numsa, who'll just give us a sense of what has been happening behind closed doors. I mean, we're seeing people walking in, coming out. You didn't even break for tea, like the last time, meaning that really the negotiations inside must be intense. Give us a sense. Welcome to the SABC. Let us in on where are we right now? Are you finding each other with the employer? What is the sticking point? Why aren't we actually seeing a move from you guys where these negotiations are concerned?
Well, I can only tell you that we are at a sensitive stage of the negotiations. Employers have given us a feedback this morning, and which basically triggered a solid engagement between us and employers. And I'm not in a position to compromise the process currently. I can only say we're at a sensitive stage. You would appreciate that the agreement that is coming to an end came at the back of a 3-week strike that our members embarked upon. And there's much talk about rolling over the agreement. But as a union, we understand the state of the economy. However, we're very firm that workers are not the ones who must pay for the crisis of capitalism. There must be an improvement in their lives. And employers, as I said, came with a position which is problematic, which I'm not saying anything about it. We are about to break to caucuses and engage. I would compromise negotiations if I start to do that. Because we have got views which we will engage other unions as well about, and go back to the table this afternoon and continue to engage. And we obviously learning from the past, we had a 3-week strike. We want to have a settlement very soon in the interest of our members. As I said, workers should not be paying for this crisis of an economy that is bleeding. There must be something on the table that improves their lives. For now, I'm not going to negotiate through the media. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, the last time when we were here through the first round of wage negotiations, it was the Numsa, group that said that you're looking at 6% plus in terms of what you're bringing onto the table here. You're also looking for a housing fund to be set up for the workers. Let's talk about really what you're getting from your members. Are they still unflinching in saying that these are their demands here? And are we looking at ensuring that at least we push through with these demands so that they can come through for the workers?
We have been pushing in the industry for years now on this question of housing. I mean, we have got a painful experience where workers who are migrants, they come from their homes to come and work in Johannesburg. When they reach the retirement age, they go home, they take their last peanuts to try and finish the house, to upgrade and to do all that. When the house is up to here, when they must finish their renewal of a house, money get finished, they get stressed, they died. We're saying it's about time that this industry must address this plight of workers who are in the disadvantage, both from the banks, they're in a gap market, and government does not see them as fit for RDP houses. We have put that demand and we have been pushing it. It's not for the first time. We hope to break new ground on it in this round of negotiations. So it's a big issue for us because it's very easy to talk about wages. And wages sometimes is good because it's a living wage, but it is also about ripe food. When you sit down, you can no longer work. So it's important that we also deal with the core issues that are about value and life of our members, even beyond their time when they have retired. So that's one issue. That's why the issue of housing is a very hot issue we're putting on the table.
Yeah, just before we let you go, Mr. Jim, briefly, are you singing from the same hymn book? Are you finding each other as, unions? Are you taking the same approach in more or less approaching these wage negotiations united? Let us in on where you guys find yourself in this sector.
Well, you should relax about workers and trade unions. We are exploited by the same employer. We can differ and sometimes appear to be competing, but at the end of the day, workers are exploited by the same employer. That's why if you read Numsa preamble, it said we must set aside all prejudice and unite. And we could be coming from different angles in submission of demands, but we've got a historical duty and the responsibility to engage. It doesn't mean we'll agree on everything else, but the unity of workers is compulsory and sacrosanct.
Sir, thank you very much for your time. Let me release you. That is, of course, Mr. Irvin Jim coming through there from Numsa. You can hear that they are saying that these negotiations are at a sensitive stage here, Nompu. They are looking at uniting to go at it to ensure that no one is left behind. But you can really get a sense that they are somewhat still far apart in terms of finding each other. But a reminder to our listeners and our viewers as well that this is the second round. The last round of talks is going to be on the 8th of May. And this is where then we'll get an indication of whether the workers will be downing tools or they'll be continuing with the bargaining here. Just something that really most of them are looking to just do away with a strike because in 2021 it cost the economy about 500 million rand. That 3 weeks strike action in the metal and engineering sector. Nompu is back to you in studio for now.
Thanks very much, my colleague there, Katlego Legodi.